Okay, it's time for Suburban Mom's Are You Normal? Week 5, Take 1. Have you ever tried to get out of jury duty? I've only ever been called up for a jury one time, and that was only about 2 or 3 years ago, I guess. And I've got quite a few back problems, and one thing about my back, real tailbone really, I can't sit for very long periods at a time. So if I was going to be on a jury, there's no way that I could like sit in the jury box for for over like about 30 minutes at a time. So I would have to take a lawn chair or something with me, and I think that would be a little bit distracting. Actually, I did have to show up on everybody that they called had to show up, and then he winds up, the judge, presiding judge, ask if there's anybody who thinks that they should be excused for any reason, and myself, and I would say, probably about maybe 10 to 15% of the people that was in the room went and lined up in front of the judge, and then each one would tell him their little story, and he would either excuse you or not. And I told him, and I was willing to serve, but I would have to lay down in my lawn chair rather than sitting in the jury box. And I kind of felt it would be a little distracting, and maybe he did too, because he excused me at any rate, which actually it made me feel kind of bad, because this particular guy here, he gave a little speech right to start off with, maybe a 10-minute long speech about how serving on a jury was, your civic duty and all, which on the surface of things sounds kind of like it might be a little bit of a corny type speech, but I tell you what, this guy, it actually made me feel guilty when I went up there and requested that I, not have to serve on the jury. It really, even if I had gone in there with some kind of bogus reason for not serving on the jury, I wouldn't have. After listening to his speech, I would not have gotten up and tried to get out. He was that good. I remember thinking, this is the guy we need for president. His last name is Penn. I think it's Thomas Penn is his name. Anyway, he really is quite a great speaker. And okay, anyway, I've spent far too much time on that. Have you, and this is going to be far too long, I know. Have you ever eaten Spam? I remember back in my younger days, Spam wasn't Spam. In other words, Spam didn't have not the cachet. That's kind of the wrong word to use for Spam. Spam didn't have the reputation, didn't have the it wasn't the joke that it is today. Many years ago, Spam was just kind of another item on your grocer's shelves. You didn't really give that much of a thought to it. Of course, it tasted the same way then as it does now. At least I imagine it did. I ate it 2 or 3 times, way back in my youth, you might as well say, I guess. It's just, just some pretty crappy food, basically, but I've not eaten it in a long time. I think I fried it, but yeah, I ate it 2 or 3 times many years ago, and like I say, it just wasn't. It didn't have the joke. It wasn't the joke then that it is now. Do you like to cook, and are you a good cook? I cook on an as-needed basis, kind of. I do consider myself a reasonably good basic cook. Just nothing fancy, just just the basics, and not a lot of seasonings or anything other than salt and pepper. Generally speaking, I only eat 2 meals a day. I eat out 1 meal. On a typical day, I'll eat out 1 meal once. 1 meal once. Okay, that sounds bad. On a typical day, I'll eat out 1 time and eat in 1 time, and really try to not eat any between meal snacks other than that. I have go-to meals that I eat on my end meal, I guess the way to put it. My go-to meals is really just a simple sandwich, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, ham and egg sandwich, or a grilled ham and cheese, Even two methods of that. The quick method is put your ham and cheese on a piece of bread and stick it in the toaster oven, and the other one is, of course, you do it in a cast iron pan with some butter, which actually it is a little tastier like that, but I probably do it like that like 10% of the time. But one of the main meals, I mean, if I fix a big meal, I like to fix stew beef with mashed potatoes and gravy and green beans. That's a great meal. And on the stew beef, you've got to fry it first to give it that seared fried taste, and then put it in the pressure cooker. A little involved, but it's something I like to do every once in a great while. Number 4, have you ever experienced deja vu? You know, it seems like I've answered this question before somewhere. Number 5, what would you change about yourself physically? Oh God, this video is long enough already. Don't get me started. I would like for my back not to hurt, for one thing. Then I could serve on a jury, but that wouldn't be my primary motivation, of course. And yeah, I'd like to have better hair, for one thing. I mean, it's okay the day I wash it, which is today. Yeah, washed it today, so it looks halfway decent, but it's not durable. Durable hair. Need durable hair. Hair that will go on and on and on without having to be washed. But of course I would still wash it, but I wouldn't wash it as much. What do you know what dry beer means? And I'm not going to ever cheat on these questions. I didn't Google it or anything. So actually, no, I don't know what dry beer means, and I'm not even going to Google it after I finish here. I imagine I'll find out and reading other people's comments. I don't know. Is it the same thing as a dry martini? Would dry beer and dry martini be the same thing? I don't even know what a dry martini is either, actually. Or maybe it's dehydrated. Maybe you just like Kool-Aid, like, you know, beer Kool-Aid. Yeah, that would be kind of dehydrated. What's your favorite room? Well, I'm in my bedroom right now, so this is where, well, my bed is. I like to sleep. This is where my computer is. So yeah, this is my favorite room. Gotta be. This is where I shoot most of, well, probably half or more than half of my videos. So this is where the magic happens. So yeah, bedroom, favorite room. So are you scared of snakes or spiders? I would say less than most people, probably. Not a big fan of snakes and spiders, and I used to be more scared of them than I am now. But as far as snakes goes, if I knew a snake wasn't poisonous, unless it was like, you know, some python or something was going to squeeze you to death, or it has the big teeth. They do have the big teeth. But for most common variety snakes, if I knew it wasn't poisonous, I mean, I wouldn't even mind picking them up. But yeah, less than most people probably. Number 9, would you read the diary of someone close enough if you were bound to be in it? No. If it's kind of a little bit of a vague question, in that if this was somebody who was alive, even if they kind of wanted me to read their diary, I really wouldn't want to read it. And if it was just laying there and they weren't around and I knew I wouldn't get caught, I still wouldn't read it. Nothing good could happen from reading somebody's diary if you were in it. I mean, if they were being totally honest in their diary, for one thing, I don't like to invade other people's privacy, and if they were being totally honest in it, and you were in it, there's going to be some things about you that bug them, and you're going to read that, and it's going to maybe bug you that it bugs them. And so no good could come of it. I mean, you should pay more attention to people's actions in a way, how they treat you, than what they've written down in a diary. But on the other hand, if it was somebody who was dead, yeah, I would read it in that case. I mean, I don't know why exactly I make the distinction, but I would. If they were no longer with us, I would read it in that case. So yeah. Week 5, are you normal? How many more of these have we got anyway? Yeah, I'm like Kurt. You're doing some kind of statistics paper or something for a school project. But I'm enjoying them. So ever how many they are, I'll try to participate, and unless I'm like Kurt and have a cold or something sometime. So long, everybody.